What's up guys, my name is Matthew, and today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated thrillers coming out this summer. Alright, I've done all the work for you. I have compiled a list of 15 very exciting thrillers coming out this summer. I have the date they're coming out, the rating they're going to have on Goodreads at the time of filming, and my thoughts on this. So you're welcome, I've done the hard work for you. But I'm gonna be looking down a lot because I have my laptop right here so I can get my notes together because I'm a nerd and I actually have notes on what I wanna talk about. All right, so the first book that I wanna talk about is called It Could Be Anyone by Lynn Hendricks. I've never heard of this author or this book until I started doing some research, and I am super pumped about this book. I read the description and I was like, wait, did I write this book? It is about a group of friends. If you know me, you know I'm already excited. It's about a group of friends who are going to this destination wedding in Miami, and the groom gets murdered, and apparently all of these 5 friends have a reason that they would want the groom murdered. And that's about all I know. And right when I read that, I'm like, group of friends going to a wedding, exclusive area, secluded area. It sounds like The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I am so excited about this. That's about all I know. I'm looking at the Goodreads. Right now it has 150 ratings, and it has a 3.96. So my notes say that it comes out May 10th, but I don't think that's correct. I went on Amazon because I had to purchase it because once I heard about, that description, I knew that it was for me, and it says it's coming out May 31st. So I believe that's coming out May 31st. Yeah, I'm so excited about that, but I've never heard of this author before. So It Could Be Anyone, group of friends, destination wedding, groom gets murdered, everyone has a secret. I'm excited. Don't let me down. All right, the next book on my list is Never Coming Home by Hannah Mary McKinnon. I actually have an advanced reader copy of this on NetGalley, and this sounds like a little bit of a domestic thriller. We're dealing with this guy named Lucas Forrester, and he is married to this woman named Michelle, and Michelle has family money, and she just comes into a lot of money, and he plans a plot to have her murdered, killed off so he can inherit all of her money. And apparently he does it, but then he starts getting letters and notes saying they're onto him, they know what he did. I feel like I've read this book before. I mean, it's the typical domestic man and wife and they hate each other. Yeah, but that's about all I know. It says it's told with a dark wit and a sharply feminist sensibility. We're here for it. This has a 4.21 as of filming, and it has 177 ratings. So not that much, but 4.21 is pretty good. This comes out, when does this come out? I have it for May 24th, so hopefully I can get that read in May so I can talk about it in my May wrap up and let you know if it's worth the hype and worth your time. But yes, that is the next book I have on my list, Never Coming Home by Hannah Mary McKinnon. All right, the next book that I have on my list, I just had to read the description 3 times because it has a lot of information in the description, and it's called Privacy by Nina Sadowsky. Never heard of her before. I have an advanced copy of this too from NetGalley. This is about a family therapist, and one of her patients tries to hold his wife hostage. She's able to dissuade him from doing that. So she becomes very popular in the media. And apparently with her popularity in the media, her patients start getting targeted and being sent weird gifts and being hounded and being treated poorly. The book, I guess, is figuring out why her patients are being targeted. How does this fit in with her? How does this fit in with the hostage situation? I hope I did a good job of explaining that. If you go on Goodreads, it's a lot of words, and I tried to sum that up in a very short amount of words for you. Right now, this has a 3.72, which isn't great, with 85 ratings. So, mediocre. I do have an advanced copy of this. I'm gonna try to get it read so I can let you guys know. This publishes on June 14th, 2022, so I have some time. But yeah, this sounds fun. I mean, a therapist and her patients are being targeted. That's unique, right? I'm here for it. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. I'm trying to see if anyone I has reviewed it. No one that I know has reviewed it. So we'll see, and I'll let you know if it's worth, your time, and yeah, that's about all I know. All right, the next one you guys all know, it is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. And after last year's Survive the Night, I am very concerned because what was that? I very much did not like Survive the Night. And I've liked all of his other books, so it was very much a letdown. I'm hoping he comes back strong this summer. This book, The House Across the Lake, the description sounds very mundane and it sounds like a book I've read before, but the reviews are better than Survive the Night, so I'm a little bit hopeful. I did not get an advanced copy of this book because I'm not nearly cool enough, and I also posted a video last year where I just completely destroyed this book. So I don't know why he didn't send me an advanced copy of his next book. This book is about a woman named Casey who is a starlight and she wanted to like try to escape fame. So she goes to this lake house and she's a drunk. I mean, these tropes are so tropey. She's drunk and she has binoculars and she's watching the couple across the lake, and she saves one of, like, the woman who lives across the lake saves her from drowning, and they become friends, and she realizes that she's in an abusive relationship, I believe, and apparently the girl vanishes. I'm like reading this and trying to explain it to you. But yeah, so it sounds like not very original, but who knows? From what I'm hearing, it might also have a supernatural twist. I don't usually like supernatural twists unless I know about it going in. So if I know about it, it's fine. It has a 3.7, which really isn't that great. It has 362 ratings, which is more than most. Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful, I'm nervous, but Lock Every Door and Home Before Dark are two of my favorite thrillers of all time. So I will read anything he comes out with, but after Survive the Night, I'm very nervous. This comes out on June 21st. I hope it's a Book of the Month selection, but what I've noticed for Book of the Month is they're not putting my favorite authors on it anymore. So I don't know what Book of the Month is struggling with, but yes, I'm excited about this. It sounds not groundbreaking. A drunk who sees, like, I feel like I've read this book. Haven't I read this book 4 times? But we'll see. Apparently he takes another, like a different twist on it from what I've read from the reviews so far. So I'm hopeful. And yes, House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. The next book on my list is The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. And I have read The Last Flight by Julie Clark, and I remember it being kind of mediocre for me. Right now, this book has a 4.41 and 655 ratings, which is pretty good. This book, the description sounds really intriguing, and I'm actually definitely gonna read it just based on the description. But it's about this woman who is a con artist. She has multiple names: Meg Williams, Maggie Littleton, Melody Wild, and she apparently just travels across the country or the world and takes on a different personality, a different persona, whether it be a college student, a life coach, a real estate agent, and she just puts on a persona and then trying to, like, just a con artist, like she like steals money from you or does whatever. There's a girl named Kat Roberts who is a victim of this con artist 10 years ago, and she's like trying to get revenge, and she's trying to like figure out where she is, and she realizes, oh, this con artist is coming back, and it's the story of them getting closer and her getting revenge and realizing that not everything she's understanding about this con artist is true, and like what is the real motivation behind the con artist. That's what I've gathered from the description, but it sounds good, right? Like that sounds pretty like exciting. So that comes out June 21st. I doubt I will get an advance reader copy of that because she's a very famous author. So we'll see. I'll wait to see the reviews. Let me see if anyone I know has read it. Jordan's Book Club, he liked it. He gave it 4 stars. Ashley Winstead, who is one of my favorite authors, who I will talk about in a second, she gave it 5 stars. So yeah, it looks promising. I'm excited about this one. The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. All right, the next one I have on my list is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I skipped One by One last year. That was her book last year just because of the reviews. I heard it was very mediocre at best, but this one sounds really promising. It honestly sounds like the plot of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, and that was my favorite book last year. It is about a group of friends who went to college together and they become best friends. Sound familiar? And one of the friends ends up dead. Now, a decade later, two of the friends are married, expecting a child. Oh, and then somebody who was convicted of killing April, I'm assuming he just died in prison. So I'm guessing we're gonna assume that he actually didn't kill her. Like, it literally sounds like In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Hannah's world is rocketed when a young journalist comes knocking and presents new evidence that Neville may not have been innocent. Okay, so this book is gonna be about a group of friends who were in college. One of the group of friends got murdered. Some random dude took the fall for it. Now we're in the, in the future, 10 years later, and the group of friends is realizing, wait, that person's not, like, the person who was convicted might not have been the actual murderer. And this is my favorite trope in a thriller. If you do it right, I love it. I will read any trope like this. I love reading about a group of friends. Something tragic happens, and then you get the group of friends like 5 to 10 years later. I eat those books up. So I'm so excited about this. I hope it's done well. It honestly sounds like the exact same plot in My Dreams I Hold a Knife, if I'm being honest. But this has a 4.08 with 461 ratings. Not bad. I mean, Ruth Ware is a very famous author, so who knows how accurate that is. Let me see if anyone I know has read this so far. I don't think, but yeah, I will definitely read this one even if it does get bad ratings, just because that's my favorite trope. Like, I love it. I'm here for it. And hopefully it's good. This comes out, The It Girl, comes out July 12th. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. So far, this is probably the one I'm most excited about just based off of the description. All right, next up I have Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. I don't think I've ever read a book by her. I know she's very popular, and I pretty sure I have a book of her on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet. I can't think of the name of it, but I definitely know I own a book by her. And this book is about a girl named Paris Peralata, and she is arrested in her bathroom and she's covered in blood. It looks like she murdered someone. And apparently she's not even worried about that. She's worried about like her true identity being revealed, because apparently she's hiding her old identity and she created a new life for herself. So she's scared that's gonna be revealed when she, goes through the process of being accused of murder. Then the description goes into saying 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that riveted Canada in the early 90s. Reyes knows who Paris really is. Okay, so this person in the past knows who Paris is. She's threatening to expose all of Paris' secrets. I'm gonna be honest, I'm reading this and I'm very confused. Okay, so we have two timelines. Somebody was a killer in 25 years ago. Somebody's a killer present day. The girl 25 years ago knows the true identity of the present day killer. And the present day killer doesn't even care that she's being convicted of murder. She just doesn't want her true identity to come out. Sounds promising. Did I sum that up okay? This has a 4.30 with 612 ratings. That's like really good actually. But this comes out July 19th, 2022. Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, honestly, the description's a little confusing, but maybe it's not as confusing like once you jump into the book. But yeah, it just seems like two timelines, and it sounds like a book about people trying to hide their true identities and being accused of crimes. Oh, Jar of Hearts. That's the book I have on my shelf that I have by her. Yeah, and apparently that's really good. So hopefully I can read that one before this one. The Things We Do in the Jar by Jennifer Hillier. Excited about that. So let's see what we got in there. Are you guys excited? I'm having so much fun doing this. If there's anything more fun than reading thrillers, it's getting excited about thrillers that are coming. And this list sounds really good. I'm hoping I can get some advanced reader copies so I don't have to spend all this money or, something, because I want to read most of these. Okay, let's do the next one. Oh. All right, the next one I have on my list is The Last to Vanish by Miranda. This is about a woman named Abigail Lovett who works at this inn in a North Carolina mountain town, and apparently the area is very famous for people disappearing in the paths that are around the mountain town. This famous journalist comes to the town to try to figure out the secrets and what happened to these people that were disappearing, and when this journalist comes to the town, she disappears herself. So apparently the journalist's brother comes, demanding answers. Where is my sister? Where is this journalist? And I think it's just a story figuring out what's the hidden secret about this town. I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't sound that exciting to me, but who knows? We'll see what the ratings come out. This has a 3.91 and 211 ratings. I recognize this name. I'm not sure if I've read a book by her or not, but this comes out on, hold on. Yeah, so The Last to Vanish by Miranda, coming out July 26th. Meh, I'm not really excited about that one. All right, this next one, I have no idea where I found it. It has 2 ratings on Goodreads and has a 5.0, can you imagine? It sounds intriguing. So it's like suburbia and wealthy people, and these women get together for a game night every week, and these men get together to play poker. And apparently all of the men either get murdered or hospitalized, and everyone's trying to figure out what happened on that night. That's all the description says. Everyone in the town is questioned. No one seems to be able to answer the one question, what the hell happened? This is a riveting story, not just of powerful women or vengeful men, but of secrets, neighbors, blackmail, business gone wrong, and the most intimate of desires spilling into full view. God, that's my dream job, just writing shit. Those were words that meant nothing. But this sounds promising. I don't know this author. The Rule of Three by E.G. Scott. I don't know who that is. I don't know where I found this book. I made this list a couple weeks ago. Comes out August 2nd. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see if it gets more, talked about, but I don't even, that's all I know. All right, so the next book I actually have read. It is called Stay Awake by Megan Goldin. I talked about it in one of my wrap-ups. I'll put it up here. But this is about a woman who every time she goes to sleep, she wakes up and can't remember the last 2 years. So every time she tried to stay awake, she has written all over her body stay awake, don't trust anyone, because every time she gets some ground of what happened, she falls asleep and she wakes up and we start over. It was so fun to read. It was one of those books I couldn't put down because I had to know what was gonna what was gonna happen. And obviously we read a lot of books with the unreliable narrator, but this just does such a fun job of trying to figure out why did she black out everything 2 years ago. She has specific memories up to a certain day, and then 2 years after that she blacks it out and she can't remember. So we're slowly getting the pieces put together. We're learning through her eyes of what happened that night she blacked out, Why can't she remember? The one thing I didn't like about this book is that there's a detective point of view, and for me, the detective point of view was unnecessary and took away from the book. I kept trying to skim those chapters because I didn't think they were necessary, but I really enjoyed this book. The whodunit aspect, like why the whodunit, and I don't know if I said this, but like apparently like a body gets discovered, so she's starting to think like, was I the murderer? Did I do this? And it's a lot of fun. I think it's gonna get a lot of hype this summer. I gave it 4 stars because I think the detective point of view took away, and the whodunit aspect, I didn't fully understand why the murder happened and why the murderer was doing what they were doing. But yeah, I still think about it. I don't fully understand it. But that being said, it was so fun. It was one of those books that like you couldn't put down. I think I read it in 2 sittings. So it's like flipping the pages because I had to know what was happening. But yes, that's Stay Awake by Megan Goldin, and that's gonna come out August 9th, 2022. And right now it has a 4.16 with 1,173 ratings. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think most people will enjoy this book, so definitely check this out in August. So the next book is my most anticipated book of 2022, my new favorite author, and that is Ashley Winstead. She wrote In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and she is coming out with The Last Housewife in, I think it's August. Yeah, she's coming out August 16th. I mean, I have emailed this publisher. I'm like begging anyone to give me this book. I mean, you know, like we're not getting ghosted by men in 2022, we're getting ghosted by publishers because no one will send me this book. But I have a friend who has it and I'm getting them to mail it to me. So I will read this book before August, mark my words. But In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead was my favorite book of 2021. And this book sounds fucking awesome. This is about this girl named Shay, and she went to college, and when she was in college, she got kind of like recruited to be in a cult. And she spent all of college like in this cult with like these weird beliefs. And then her and her friend Laurel escaped from the cult by senior year. And we flash forward into the future or the present, and she reads from a podcast, like she's listening to a crime podcast, and she realizes that Laurel was murdered. Shay starts to realize or think like, wait, what is this? Maybe this has to do with that cult I was in. So she starts working with the woman who is doing the podcast to kind of figure out like what happened, and she's trying to shut down the cult. And I am so excited. It has really good reviews. I'm hearing a lot of good things about this book. It has a 4.27 and only 142 reviews. That makes me feel better. It means that not that many people have an advanced copy. But I will get an advanced copy, mark my words, and I'm very excited about this. I've never read a book about a cult, so I'm very excited about that. Jordan's Book Club gave it 4 stars and says that it's psychosexual thriller. The fuck does that mean? A psychosexual thriller? I don't know what that means, so I'm kind of into it. All right, so yeah, I'm super excited about this. And this comes out, I think I already said, it comes out August 16th. Is that what I said? August 16th. Yeah, so definitely check out more videos because I think I will have this book within the next month if things go my way. So hopefully I'll have a review on that book coming up soon. All right, so the next book, I have an advanced reader copy of it, and I've had it for a long time, and I completely forgot about it, but I just read the description. I was like, wait, why haven't I read this yet? This is Complicit by Winnie M Li, and it is about a woman who tried to make it in Hollywood, and apparently she like never made it, and she spent years trying to make it, but now she is a college professor, and she's just trying to like escape that past of her not being a famous celebrity. And apparently a journalist reaches out to her, asking her questions about this famous film producer and about, you know, allegations of sexual assault and stuff like that. And it says, Sarah recounts the industry's dark and sordid secrets. However, she begins to realize that she has a few sins of her own to confess. She must confront her choices and ask herself, just who was complicit? So apparently something happened in the past, and she's been holding on to it. You guys know I love that trope. So I'm gonna try to read this one soon. I like completely forgot about this, but this has a 4.10, 71 ratings, and it comes out on August 16th as well. So this sounds promising. We love a book set in Hollywood. All right, the thriller queen is back this summer. Karin Slaughter is coming out with Girl Forgotten. It is the second in the Andrea Oliver series. The first book is Pieces of Me, which I just finished and talked about in my wrap up and thoroughly did not enjoy. So I'm very nervous about this book. But this book is about the girl in that book, and now she's a US Marshal. So I don't think it's gonna be the same plot. It's gonna be something completely different. And apparently she's investigating this other like cold case from the past. And it's about, all of my favorite authors are writing books about my favorite trope, and I'm here for it. All right, so this is about a girl named Emily Vaughn who's getting ready for prom, and she's going with the football star, and she has a secret. But that night, she gets murdered. So we flash forward to the present, and Andrea is trying to figure out this cold case of what happened to Emily. So we're trying to figure out what happened with this close group of friends, who knew Emily's secret, what was Emily's secret. We're probably gonna get chapters with the past, and we're gonna get chapters in the present. I love that trope, I'm here for it. The killer is still out there, and Andrea must discover the truth before she gets silenced too. I'm so excited. Yes, this has a 4.45, 49 ratings. I already have it pre-ordered on Amazon, and this comes out a long time from now. This comes out August 23rd, 2022. Last but not least, we have another thriller queen, Alice Feeney. Rock, Paper, Scissors by her I read last year, and it was one of my favorite thrillers of 2021, and I just finished His and Hers, which is a backlist title of hers. This next book, Daisy Darker, sounds so good. It sounds very Agatha Christie, secluded, one by one, people get murdered off. I either usually love those or they usually flop. This is about a woman named Daisy Darker who has not seen her family in a long time, but they all assemble to this old Gothic mansion that Nana lives in on like an island. And apparently a storm comes and they get trapped on the island. Have you read this before? Probably. And apparently Nana gets killed, and then someone else in the family gets killed. So one by one, they're getting kicked off, and it's kind of a whodunit, and then there were none feel, which has been very common lately, but apparently this one has good ratings. It has a 4.09, 292 ratings, and Alice Feeney is very good at thrillers. She's good at doing like the multiple perspectives. Every book I've read by her, she has multiple perspectives, and then like another perspective that's kind of ambiguous. Either it's the killer or it's like a third party you don't fully know. So I'm expecting she's gonna have some kind of like ambiguous narrator in here involved, because that's what she's done in the past. But this book comes out August 30th. I will definitely be reading that one. She is so good, and I love a secluded locked room mystery if it's done right. Yes, that is that book. I hope you guys are excited as me. I just went through all this and reread the descriptions. I am so excited to read most of these books. There are a few on there that I'm just like, whatever, I'll probably skip. But most of these I'm very excited about, particularly the Ashley Winstead book with the cult, the Daisy Darker, Alice Feeney book, the book about the Karin Slaughter book I'm super excited about. Those are the ones that are like standing out to me that I'm very excited about. But yes, and hopefully Riley Sager like doesn't disappoint this year again. But if you guys like thrillers, if you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe, please stick around, and I will definitely be posting more videos like this soon, and I will see you guys later.